So hi everyone. My name is Patlee. I'm the lead facilitator of Reyou Mindfulness Collective, and I am back for another video recording on this idea of reclaiming resilience. And in this recording, I want to talk about the way that we talk about I want to talk about resilience factors. So in a previous recording, I talked about why I wanted to do this, just a couple of posts on how we think about resilience, how we've been applying the word resilience, what exactly does it mean, and how do we use this thing? Like, can we reclaim the word, or is there a different word that I should be using, particularly in light of the frustrations that I've heard from so many people around, being told that they should be resilient and they should use that resilience to overcome and da 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 and crap, 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 crap. Um, so today or right now, let's try this exercise. Just pause for a second, and I want you to think about the word resilience, and I want you to think about words or phrases that come to mind when you hear the word resilience. It's just let's just pause for like just a couple of seconds. Gives me a chance to take a breath, and you think about the words that come to mind when you hear the word resilience. Okay, so chances are things that came to mind would be the ability to weather or adapt. Maybe flexibility was one of those words that came to mind. Um, Maybe it's dealing with changing circumstances. Maybe it has something to do with personal strength, perseverance, the ability to bounce back from adversity. Maybe you think about resilience as the ability to grow from challenges. And those are all good. Those are all different aspects of resilience as we've come to know it, right? Now, if in your consideration about resilience, you thought about things like um, the way that you view and engage with the world. Do you have a positive or optimistic outlook on life? Or do you have a um, pessimistic, negative, or dismal outlook on life? That's going to be one of the things that we need to think about when we talk about resilience. If you think about your social resources, like what resources can you pull on? And those are financial, psychosocial, cultural. They're going to be familial, workplace. Like what resources do you have? Are they available to you? And what is the quality of those resources? Because let's think about its availability and quality, because you might have resources available to you, right? You may have lots of family members that you could go talk to, but it's not worth having a conversation with them, for example. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Um, so if those are coming to mind, then you're getting closer to a more rounded definition of resilience. If you're thinking about coping strategies, like what is your default coping strategy when you're faced with a difficult or challenging life experience, right? If the coping strategies are helpful, then we're now talking about our ability to improve or engage with resilience, versus if they're not helpful. So pulling that into the description, the things we think about when we think about resilience is absolutely important. If when you think about resilience, the word love and self-compassion come to mind, then again, that's a good thing, right? Um, Love in the sense of having really strong relationships, love in the sense of loving yourself, like having a good love for yourself, like being able to look in the mirror and go, like, girl or dude or person, I love what I see. I love you. You love yourself. You love the people around you. You're in relationships. Even if that relationship is just with yourself, that's one that's filled with love. That is another component of that resilience matrix. If you think about spirituality, for example, religion, things that make you feel attached to something much bigger than yourself, then that's also another check in the box of describing resilience, right? Attachment to something larger than yourself helps you to put things into perspective. And so when we talk about processes and outcomes of successful adaptation to challenges and difficult life experiences, like that belief in something bigger than yourself, whether it is a religious, a spiritual, a naturalistic belief, is also going to be a component of our resilience. Now, it's interesting because all of these things, so let's take the ability to weather, adapt, and be flexible and bounce back, take those and put that aside for a moment. Let's think about those things as the successful outcome, the outcome of successfully adapting, right? We bounced back. That's the adaptation, right? We were flexible. That's the adaptation. We weathered the storm. That's the adaptation. That's not resilience, right? That is us showing how resilient we were. But that is not the element of resilience itself. What makes us resilient are those factors that really allow us to be able to do some of the things that allow us to go through that process that pushes us to adaptation. So when we think about love of self, strong relationships, quality social resources, having at least one person that is a positive psychological or psychosocial influence on us, having specific coping strategies, healthy coping strategies, having an optimistic and positive view of the world, the ability to, or the skill of self-awareness, the skill of self-regulation, um, the skill of self-compassion. These are things that we refer to as resilience factors, right? Resilience factors. And it's these resilience factors that actually help us through that process of adapting to difficult and challenging life experiences. So, again, kind of coming to this point of, is resilience this word that it's time for it to go? I don't know. Should I be using a different word? I don't know. I'm still kind of trying to come to terms with it, right? But certainly when we have that frustration around the use of the word resilience, I'm trying to make peace with this idea that it's not the word, it's the way that we have been using it and throwing it around willy-nilly. And we've been reducing, we've been subjecting the word to a certain level of reductionism that it's just not helpful. But I could be corrected. Like, is there another word that I can use to talk about the way that we employ specific coping strategies, the way that the availability and the quality of our social resources, our connections, our love of self, or self-compassion, or self-awareness, our self-regulation skills, how all of those things kind of help us successfully adapt in moments of difficulty and challenge, how they help us how they help to engage our mental, emotional, and behavioral flexibility when we have external and internal demands. I, I'm still kind of up there with it. So by all means, you know, if you have some thoughts, I would love to hear them. If you have another word that you think is worth exploring, and maybe using in place of resilience in some conversations. I'd love to learn about that as well. And yeah, stay tuned for maybe another episode or post on this idea of trying to reclaim resilience.